The image accompanying this audio recording of chapter 4 of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill was thrown up there after I read the whole chapter, and I thought I should put it up there because, first of all, I want to say that I am a very visual person. I'm a visual learner. And in the spirit of learning or fully comprehending autosuggestion, which is what this chapter is going to be about, I thought putting up this image to go alongside this audio recording would be quite helpful, because it would not only illustrate what autosuggestion was, but like when you look at the picture, I put up a picture of an iceberg, as you can see. So the top bit is representative of the conscious mind, and the bottom bit is representative of the subconscious part. So when you're thinking about autosuggestion, it is basically in your conscious mind just reaffirming yourself over and over about something. In this case, it is about getting rich like you. This money is for me. We will do that in the consciousness with the aim of getting it into the subconscious mind. So I thought putting up this image there would illustrate visually the concept of this book. So as you listen or as you watch, whatever you're doing, as you're listening to this, I hope that this visual representation of the theme, autosuggestion, will become ingrained in your mind, that it'll send you a subliminal message that it helps you understand autosuggestion, and also does the extra side work of engaging the subconscious mind to understand the concept of this book. I think if you have this image in your mind, it will help you understand the idea a little bit better. On to the recording.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Wellspring. I know it's been a while, but I am glad to be back and continuing our book club, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We are now on chapter 4, and this chapter deals with autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reach one's mind through the five senses. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. What I loved about this book, actually, before I get into that, I am going to do a quick read of the titles and subtitles within this chapter. So once you open it up, it says autosuggestion is the medium for influencing the subconscious mind, the third step toward riches. So as I was saying, what I love about this book is that the subtitles within each chapter kind of give a summary of what that particular section is going to be about. So basically, what we have learned about autosuggestion, or basically, self-suggestion, is that you have to, it's a principle it's a principle used to teach you how to build faith for anybody who isn't religious and isn't familiar with what faith is and how to develop faith or how to harness it, or those who have been in the religious space and do know faith but don't practice faith. And yes, faith is something that is to be practiced, because
I think with my personal experience of faith, yes, I am a believer. I am a child of God. So one of the things that I have learned about having faith is that it's a continuous thing. It's like something that you have to keep on practicing. Faith in your daily life, faith in the wonderful and fantastical words that you read, perhaps like in scripture. Some things can be so unbelievable. For example, miracles like miracles of healing, miracles of I want to say transformation, and the various kinds of miracles that have been described in, the word of God. And also like faith in terms of your connection with the divine, faith in the everyday things that happen in life. So for me, that has been something that I have been practicing. And what I love about this book is that it kind of teaches people how to have faith, and it's also like a refresher course or an eye-opening statement slash instructional, is that even a word? I don't know. Like manual for how to build faith. Basically what they're trying to say is that faith is like, in this regard, it has to do with money, right? And in the as far as autosuggestion is concerned, it's like you keep on using words of affirmation over and over and over and over and over again about a desire that you have. And let me just use examples. For example, the desire to have money is that for you to build or to change your mind to be money conscious, or to be for money to be attracted to you, you have to believe that you're already in possession of it. So that's how it works. You have to convince your subconscious mind that you're in possession of it. You desire money, and because you desire money, you're not just longing after it and not getting like a response back from money. Nah, that's not how it works. It's like, I want money, I already have money. And you keep on telling yourself over and over and over and over things like, I want money. I'll add like my own understanding to this. It's like, I desire money, and I deserve to have that money, and money is mine. Basically, you're working yourself up to be obsessed with money in such a way that money can't avoid you anymore. I'm still going back and forth with that whole developing a burning desire for money, because personally for me, my ethics or my philosophy of life is not centered around money. However, I want to do this for myself because there has been a pattern in my life where I have unhealthy relationship with money, in terms of like just not how I spend it, but just like giving everything I have to people who are in need all the time, and not having reserves for myself to perhaps make a better life for myself, to grow up and mature financially, because I feel like I have grown up and I have matured in other areas of my life. But as far as money is concerned, I'll be honest with myself. I tell myself I'm altruistic. I tell myself money doesn't matter to me. But then I have responsibilities that I can't run away from that require financial means. And I don't have that. And it's like, how long will I go on convincing myself that this is an okay way to live just because of like my philosophies of life? And
also, aside from my personal philosophies of life, I also have like unhealed memories or traumas in my childhood of growing up with regards to money, like feeling like I've missed out on opportunities. Maybe I'll go deeper into that later on, but for now I don't feel comfortable talking about it. But just watching my parents' relationship with money and the morals that they instilled in me as far as money is concerned. There were two conflicting ideas, and not only were they two conflicting ideas, they also made me feel like I think they made me a little bit confused, and I'm trying to repair that confusion. So anyways, moving on. See and feel money in your hands. This is what I was talking about earlier. I think I have described that. But they do make references about going back to previous chapters. In this case, chapter 2. If you missed that one, if you don't know what we're talking about, please refer back to the video that I did on chapter 2. And there were principles on how to like acquire money, right? Or how the statements that were written that you had to write and read and put to your memory and read over and over, like day in and day out, so that the idea of having money could first start in your mind and develop that faith and belief that you would need to be in possession of money, or that would actually just change your mentality on the idea of having money. So for example, so he emphasizes how that chapter was so important that it needed to be mentioned again, and that you have to like continuously feeding your subconscious mind with the fact that this is what I desire, and this is when I desire to have it. And going into specifics about money. I think you guys remember that. If you don't, please just head over there and listen to the video in its entirety, and you will understand what I'm trying to reference. Then the next subtitle is how to strengthen your powers of concentration. So I think the whole point of this autosuggestion, it goes hand in hand with the subconscious mind. And I think this entire book will, all the chapters that deal with the different principles is largely tied to your subconscious mind. And I love the fact that they talk about the subconscious mind, because they say about, I think, 90% or 95% of our belief system and how we think, and anything connected with thinking, believing, feeling and acting, goes between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, right? And we think the conscious mind is actually, let me not say that. It is believed that the subconscious mind, which is largely inaccessible or not completely understood or completely accessed, is the driving force behind how we act and how we feel and how we get things done and how we rationalize and all that jazz. And basically we need to exercise that part of our brain, and it's through concentrating, it's through meditation, it's through words of affirmation, it's through blind faith. And that is something that they talk about in this particular subtitle, is that you have to keep on reinforcing the subconscious mind by actively telling yourself in your conscious state that this is, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I want. Basically, that is the whole point. You have to actively do it, because sometimes you can just sit and say, oh yeah, let it be. Like, sorry, I just had a little butterfly moment there. Sometimes you think something like a passive thought, right? And you think, oh yeah, I want money. And then you leave it there. And the way to think and become rich, or to change your mental understanding, or to correct the way you think about money, is that you have to, in your conscious state of mind, you have to close your eyes, quiet the noise and everything, and just tell yourself over and over and over and over again that I want this money. And I think that's the first step, just to tell yourself, I want this money, I deserve this money, I want this money, I deserve this money, I can attain this money, I want this money, I deserve this money, I can attain this money. At least that's what I'm telling myself. That's not what the author said verbatim, but that is how I have interpreted this whole thing. So, one thing that I liked, let me look for this chapter, this paragraph, and it says, you have to play a trick on your subconscious mind by making it believe, because you believe it, that you must have the amount of money you are visualizing, that this money is already awaiting your claim, that the subconscious mind must hand over to you practical plans for acquiring the money which is yours. So you're past the point of wanting money. You're saying, okay, this money actually is mine, and this money is mine, and I'm just waiting to claim it, and I just need to find a way to get to that money and claim it. Basically, that's how I broke it down into simple steps. This money is mine. This amount of money that I want is mine. It's already mine. It's mine. It's just waiting for me to claim it. And I just need a way to go and claim that money. Those are the 3 ways. Let me repeat it. This money is mine. This money is just waiting for me to go get it. I need to find that way to go get it. So you keep on telling yourself over and over and over again. And another part that I liked is, don't wait for a definite plan through which you intend to exchange services or merchandise in return for the money you are visualizing, but begin at once to see yourself in possession of the money, demanding and expecting meanwhile that your subconscious mind will hand over the plan or plans you need. Be on the alert for these plans, and when they appear, put them into action immediately. When the plans appear, they will probably flash into your mind through the sixth sense, in the form of an inspiration. Treat it with respect and act upon it as soon as you receive it. So it's like sometimes, and I don't mean to use crass language, so I'll find something better. Basically, don't be your own obstacle, right? And for me, this is important because I think I'm a perfectionist, and it has been honestly such a big stumbling block to me, because I'm okay, I have to do this and this and this and this, and it all has to be perfect for me to achieve my desired goals. And I used to play instruments growing up, and for me, I used to be oh yeah, I have to do this, this bar perfectly, and the next bar perfectly, and the next bar perfectly.
And honestly, it just felt like a crutch, honestly. And I felt like if I were more free, if I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to stumble through this whole piece, whether I can read it or like get my fingering correct or not. I'm just going to make mistakes along the way and finish the piece, right? And then go back and do it all over again and again and again. I probably would have made more progress, because I realized like once I stopped like overthinking and I just went with whatever was in my mind, like I usually nailed it. And when I didn't nail it, if I passed over like a couple of times, like I eventually got it right, and I enjoyed playing more because I learned along the way by making mistakes and correcting those mistakes. And also, I think perfectionism also, like, it really cuts down my confidence. And I think what I am now learning in this very moment, I'm having an aha moment, is that when you just go through something, you just do it. When you're bold, you build your confidence. Like, yeah, you make mistakes, and I think I was scared of making mistakes because I would look stupid, and I didn't want to look stupid in front of other people, because sometimes like comments, remarks aren't really that great. But I feel like if you make mistakes, honestly, and like you're bold and you don't care, and you're like, okay, fine, I made a mistake, so what, big deal, like, it's not a big deal, you tell yourself that, people will have more respect for you. You just have to have like a little bit of compassion for yourself, not in a self-pitying way, but tell yourself, hey, I made a mistake. It's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And even if everybody didn't make mistakes, I make a mistake, and it's okay, because one, I'm willing to learn from that mistake. I'm willing to pick myself up and do better and walk. Can you imagine if kids were like, oh my gosh, I have to walk perfectly, I have to learn how to crawl perfectly? They would never crawl, because every time like they flopped or their arms like gave way, they would be so discouraged. And I think I see a lot of myself in babies, because babies, I think, give me so much freedom. They teach me so much in life, and that is, I think, something that I don't take for granted. And I'm so thankful for the lessons that my children teach me. Anyways, let me stop rambling, going on and on and on. But yeah, just be bold, go through it, make mistakes. And this is not saying make stupid mistakes, make costly mistakes. Of course, do your research and do your due diligence, but then don't stall, don't take up so much time and end up discouraging yourself in the name of doing research, in the name of doing due diligence. Because what I have come to find out is that there is no perfect system. You can come close, like 90%, 80%, even 95%, even 99.9999%, but then finding 100%, unless like you are Yahweh, you will never be perfect. So just, yeah. Anywho, that's the whole, I say all that to say this, is that don't be in too much of a rush. Do things wisely, but then don't be afraid to be bold. And I think that is my theme for my life. I think this year is be bold and forget about fear. So then, trust. I think another point that I have learned here is that trust, see the big picture, right? See the end goal. See yourself achieving that end goal, and trust that the creator or the divine will help you along the way to achieve that end-term goal. Because I think that is the thing. It's like faith, you can't see You don't know how things are going to work out, but you just believe that they're going to work out. So believe that the plans are going to present themselves, because you have already tuned your mind to attaining that goal. Yeah. 6 steps to stimulate your subconscious mind. Okay, so this one, it's like a remix of the steps and the principles that we did in chapter 2. And am I going to read through them? No, I'm not going to read through all of them, because I think we practiced this in chapter 2. But then I will say a paragraph that I liked. I believe that I will have this money in my possession. My faith is so strong that I can now see this money before my eyes. I can touch it with my hands. It is now awaiting transfer to me at the time and in the proportion that I deliver the service I intend to render in return for it. I am awaiting a plan by which to accumulate this money, and I will follow that plan when it is received. I like, there's this thing that I've seen, like, I think on Instagram, where this woman is like decorating her house with expensive things from like Crate and Barrel, and she's telling her husband, hey, listen, I'm practicing how to be rich, like, so don't blame me. I'm just practicing for the future. And there's also like a skit that Majimbo did, basically saying the same thing. Yeah, so that is how you apply the principles of autosuggestion. And the author goes on to mention that, you can't be a robot as you're going on about autosuggestion. You have to put in emotions. He's like, as you're telling yourself these things, you have to insert emotion there, because that is the thing that kind of drives faith. You can't just say, oh yeah, I believe it, oh yeah, and like, have passion, basically, is what they're saying as you're trying to implement these affirmations in yourself. It's like, you just don't look at the mirror and tell yourself, I am beautiful, in a robotic voice or in a monotone. You say, yeah, I'm beautiful. Like, the more you say it, the more you will understand, like, what I mean. Like, you look at yourself, you smile, you give yourself a high five, you check yourself out, like, stuff like that, and you're happy. You learn how to be happy. So, but then you get better and better as you do this. The secret of mental power. Okay, so a paragraph, like, many philosophers have made that statement that man is the master of his own earthly destiny, but most of them have failed to say why he's the master. The reason that man may be the master of his own earthly status, and especially his financial status, is thoroughly explained in this chapter. Man may become the master of himself and of his environment because he has the power to influence his own subconscious mind. So you have the power to do that. I don't think I need to say anything more. The power is all in your hands. The control belongs to nobody other than yourself. And like I said, personally speaking, I am not a millionaire. Personally speaking, I'm not even like my bracket is just, I'm not even going to mention it. But I'm not going to mention it in this one because I have mentioned it before. But I believe that I will be rich. I'm feeling not lucky. I'm feeling informed enough to understand. I feel the changes taking place in myself. I see how industrious I have become. I feel how energized I have become. I feel so many things, but it takes discipline. It takes discipline to wake up at a certain
amount to wake up at a certain time and not feel resentful of waking up at that time in order to achieve a certain goal. And even when you achieve that goal, as little as it may be, you feel so good, and that feeling of happiness or joy or pride for accomplishing that goal keeps you motivated to keep going and going and going and going. And for me, I want to note that I am not trying to say that money is important, money is the god of my life. No, I'm just saying that I'm doing this because I want to heal my own traumas that I have around money. I'm doing this for my own personal reasons. Like, I want to grow myself financially. And 3, like, I am a very curious person naturally. And I'm just like, I know that I have all these talents. I know I have all these gifts. But then, like, what good is having all these talents, all these gifts, if you're not utilizing them? And when you utilize these talents and these gifts, like, it's not in vain. Something has to be produced as a result, right? And for me, I feel like one of the ways that I can use my gifts is by doing these little, like, videos that I do on YouTube. And I have faith that they will touch somebody. And even more than touching somebody, I have faith that it will grow me. Personally speaking, I do want to have money. Honestly, it's nice to have things. It's nice to have money for, just in case, like an emergency fund. It's nice to have money for your family. It's nice to have money for the community. It's nice to have money to be philanthropic. I mean, I have to do something meaningful with my life. I'm tired of just sitting or just being a witness to my own life and not being an active participant in it. So I have hopes that by doing this, going to generate like some revenue from it. Honestly speaking, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not going to be afraid to say that. And speaking of ways that I can generate avenues, I know you guys know that I have written a children's book in Kiswahili. If you guys are a part of the diaspora or are just curious about what I have done, go to amazon.com and just look up my name, Natasha M. Chalo, and the book is titled Alphabeti Zangu, ALFABETI space ZANGU. It's a children's book just on Kiswahili, in Kiswahili, and it's just like an ABC book. It's very easy to read, it's fun, it's whimsical, and I loved doing that project. So please don't be afraid to support your girl and show her some love by purchasing one of my books. Okay, I think I have to sign out because right now it's like 3 a.m. and I am exhausted. My throat is extremely hoarse. I think I'm coming down with something, but we still keep on keeping on. So until next time, you guys take care of yourselves and have a lovely life. Don't squander your talents and your gifts, and remember that you can always do that which you think is impossible.
Subscribe.